What's going on, everybody? Mile High back with another video, and today I have another Town Hall 18 attack strategy for you guys. It's a pretty unique combo using Root Riders and Throwers, and it's actually surprisingly strong. The only one weakness of this is obviously the Throwers are a little bit slow, so I did have a couple time fills, so you got to keep that in mind. You just got to make sure you're really efficient with your time. Get things started as early as you possibly can. As you see, we're not really using many epic equipments either. The only ones that are definitely necessary are the Electro Boots on the Royal Champion. Other than that, you could use all commons if you really wanted to. So let's go hop into our first attack, and I'll show you guys how this works. Alright, so you're first going to use a short Royal Champion charge to set the funnel. And the things you need to keep in mind is you want to try to take out a layer of defenses that kind of make a wedge to give you L-shaped pathing. And the other thing to keep in mind is I like to set up my funnel to try to path my main army through the Revenge Tower because you definitely don't want to end on it. So in this base, as you see, the Revenge Tower is right here. So I'm thinking I can either funnel down here or up here with the Royal Champion. So on this particular base, I'm actually going to funnel on this side over here. So we'll go ahead and send the Royal Champion in. She's going to take out all these defenses, then should work up here. I don't think she'll get all this, but she should get most of it. And this will be the funnel that we'll have set with just our Royal Champion. And if a couple trash buildings get left up, we do have some wizards, so you could just invest some wizards and get that out. But look at the funnel that creates for us to go path straight through that Revenge Tower now. So you're going to start your main army, obviously, right here in the middle. And then once we start them, we're actually going to use our Queen and Giant Arrow down here. We're going to drop an Ice Golem in front of the Queen as well. We'll just shoot her Giant Arrow somewhere through the base. Doesn't really matter. If you have an Invis Tower base, you obviously want to aim for the Invisibility Tower. And we're also going to use the Dragon Duke down here on this compartment. So Dragon Duke will go in like this. The Dragon Duke's going to take out all the defenses while your Queen takes out all the trash buildings. And that's going to set the other side of the funnel. Now you have a massive funnel here, and that's just going to give us perfect pathing right into the core of the base with our Root Riders. And then you also have an Overgrowth. So I don't really know exactly where I'm going to Overgrowth on this particular base. We could Overgrowth over here or over here, something like that. You just want to try to keep or force your troops all to stay together. I've pretty much used the Overgrowth just to force pathing to keep my troops grouped nice and tightly. Because if you get troops to split and your Throwers wander off, that's when you definitely time fail. So that's really all there is to the attack. You're going to use your Totem Spells on the entry. And yeah, it's really pretty simple. It does take a little bit to set up, but it's not that bad. Like I said, we're going to start the Royal Champion over here on the right side. And cut out that little wedge in the base. We actually dropped on the bomb tower there to force her in here to make sure we got all these buildings down here. Because like I said, funnel is #1 priority, and then after that, any value is just icing on the cake. For timing on the Royal Champion, I'm just dropping my invises on every 6. So at 56, you'll drop your first one, and then your Spirit Fox will go invisible, and then you'll drop your next one at 46, so on and so forth. If you need a double cycle like I did there, they ran out of the invis, I dropped an extra one, because you definitely don't want to lose your Royal Champion, so don't get too greedy. And about greed, right here, I probably could have got this Fire Spitter, but it was going to be close, and I was going to take a lot of damage, and since it's pointed the other direction anyway, it was not worth it, so I recalled her out because I did lose my Fox. And here, we did leave some trash buildings up, but it's not even going to matter. I'll just start my army on him because we set such a good funnel up here at the top, and there's kind of a natural funnel right here anyway, where it's not going to pull our Throwers over there, so we had nothing to worry about, so we just went ahead and started our main army on the trash, rather than using a couple Wizards. And I actually like using the Troop Launcher. You can use the Skywagon as well. We'll use our Queen down here at the bottom with the Ice Golem in front. We shoot the Giant Arrow, and then she's also got that action figure. Giant out in front, which is also going to help tank. And now we started in our Dragon Duke over here, which is just going to really help you set this funnel. You can use the Stun Blaster as well on that Dragon Duke when it kind of pairs up with your main army like here. Look at this. This whole raids compartment basically gets nullified by my Stun Blaster. Really good value out of the Stun Blaster. We use our Overgrowth at the top, which is going to make it so none of our troops path up that direction. Everything will stay together down here at the bottom, which is exactly what we needed. Like I said, I'm using it mostly for pathing, so I made sure I hit all those buildings there to force all my troops to stay over here on the left side, because you just want everything to stay grouped together. We did lose a couple Throwers. Losing 2 Throwers isn't the end of the world. We pull the Clan Castle here. We immediately drop the poison on all the witches and that furnace, so really good poison. To this point, this has been pretty much perfectly executed here. The only thing is we did lose our Fox, but just look how decimated this base is. We kept everything nice and tightly grouped together, which maximizes the effect from your Warden's Rage Gem. And this base is absolutely crushed, as you can see. This one really wasn't all that close on time, but like I said, you got to be really efficient. Make sure you're not wasting time thinking. You got to get your troops started as early as you possibly can. And if you execute, this shows you how powerful it really is. So let's go hop into a second attack. Alright, into our second attack. Again, we're just looking where we can get this funnel set. The Giga Bomb is down here, so you got to be a little bit careful with that. It's not the end of the world if your Royal Champion triggers it, but if it hits your Fox, it can basically one-shot your Fox if your Fox takes any other damage, which it will, because even if you path over bombs, giant bombs, stuff like that, the Fox just has very, very little health. So you got to be kind of careful. I'm going to path over it here, but it is going to be towards the end of my cycles anyway, so I don't think it'll be the end of the world. All I need is to get down this Super Wizard Tower, and then the funnel's basically set because all this trash down here is going to go down. But I really want to get that Monolith, obviously, because the Monolith is a heavy-hitting defense. I want to get that out of the way. Unfortunately there, as you see, we pathed our Royal Champion over the Giga Bomb and triggered it, and our Fox didn't get hit. So it was perfect execution, but that is something you got to watch out for. It can be a little bit tricky, and it is really dangerous, so we just go ahead and recall out there. And unfortunately, a couple of the trash buildings did stay standing down here, so I'm going to use a couple wizards here because the throwers with their range, they can get pulled over to buildings that you don't think are anywhere near their pathing. It is really annoying. But I ended up changing my mind and decided to just path in from this right side here. I was going to go left, but I changed my mind. I want to go through the Revenge Tower, which is why I was going to path through that Rage Tower, but it's fine. I want to get, like I said, that Revenge Tower out of the way early because we definitely did not want to end on that. Because if you end on the Revenge Tower and have no spell support, it can basically take out your entire army by itself. And I got a little bit worried there with the throwers trying to wander. As you see, one did. Well, that's not the end of the world that we lost one, but that could have been bad. We could have lost all of them there. Again, our Queen going up the flank there. We already had our Dragon Duke in. The Revenge Tower goes down. We're sprinkling in our Headhunters to help with these enemy heroes. Our Royal Champion's going to stay right here. We used our totems, or sorry, not our totem spell, our Overgrowth down here at the bottom, which is perfect. It forced all of our troops up to the top to group together. If not, we would have got a nasty split. So that was actually a really clutch Overgrowth there. And then we also have our Royal Champion right here. When that wears off, our Royal Champion's going to decimate all this. It stood basically right on top of that Overgrowth and sniped out all the defenses around with the Rocket Spear. So now it's pretty safe. So it's going to take out that multi Inferno Tower. And as you see, we got tons of value out of the Royal Champion. It's finally going to go down now. But that was a perfect Overgrowth there. Basically saved the attack because we were going to get a split on troops there. That's what you want to watch out for, especially with throwers. It's not as hard to path troops that aren't throwers that have less range or they're melee troops. But the throwers can be really annoying to path, so you got to make sure you're paying attention to that Overgrowth. And once you get good practice with that Overgrowth, that is kind of the make or break to this attack, really, at times, because when the troops split, you time fail. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up now. As you see, the base is crushed. Our Apprentice Warden actually stayed up, which doesn't happen very often. Our Giant finally goes down. We have tons of throwers alive. Our Queen's still healthy. Warden's still healthy. We still have healers alive, and we get the triple. So I got one more attack for you guys, and I'll catch you guys there. Alright, into our final attack. This isn't the best base. I mean, the defenses aren't terrible, but it has pretty bad walls. So I'm trying to decide where I want to go in from. This one is double poison towers, which is a little bit annoying. Because obviously, the double poison towers can wreck healers. We're just going to keep this one on 2x speed, because you kind of get the point. You shouldn't have to explain everything too in detail on every single attack. Again, we're going into this compartment. As you see, that whole compartment goes down. It was all defenses, so that was a really good compartment to charge into. Unfortunately, the poison spells just make this so annoying. It slows down your Royal Champion so much, and it also kills the Fox. But we got the funnel set perfectly fine. We did use a couple wizards there, just to make sure our throwers didn't wander down here to the bottom. I think it was worth it, because we didn't really need the wizards for cleanup on the backside. We should have plenty of time. We used the Queen with the Giant Arrow and the Ice Golem in front. We used the Dragon Duke farther over on the flank. That was pretty early on the Stun Blaster, but I did end up hitting the Revenge Tower, or sorry, not the Revenge Tower, the Monolith, and also the enemy Royal Champion. So it was pretty good. We used the Overgrowth here. As you see, we were kind of late getting to the Revenge Tower, but this time it didn't matter because I saved my Overgrowth for it. So if you are going to path to the Revenge Tower pretty late, make sure you're saving that Overgrowth for it. And as you see, as soon as it wears off, my throwers just basically one-shot the Revenge Tower, and it is completely out of the way. And as you see, the base is crushed. We'll just 4x through this. So the most important thing is getting that funnel set with your Royal Champion to set up your pathing, because the throwers, like I said, it's really easy for them to split and wander, and they like to throw attacks. So that funnel is the most critical part, and then that Overgrowth spell to keep your troops nice and tightly grouped together are the two most important things to focus on. So make sure you guys practice that, and then you can dominate with this attack. So let me know in the comments how it works out for you guys. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next video.